Hey everybody, welcome back to my page, and sorry this review's coming in a little late. I wanted to let the movie marinate in my head before I did my review, and before I came in a little too hot. But let's get this part out of the way now. So if you like what you've been seeing here, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and today we're going to be talking about Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Quantumania. When it comes to superhero films or comic book films in general, and the fandom, you're either on one side or the other. You're either a DC fan or a Marvel fan, and there's no exceptions. And if you ask me, I think that's bullshit. Because for me personally, I like both DC and Marvel films, and when it comes to both studios, I'm kind of in the middle ground where I think both studios have their good and their bad movies. So I'm going to be completely honest here. So I don't know a whole lot about Ant-Man, because when I was a kid, it was all about the X-Men, Spider-Man, X-Force, Spawn, and etc. And those were the comics that I was really into as a kid, and those were kind of the most popular at the time. But when it was announced that Paul Rudd was going to be playing the lead as Ant-Man, I was actually pretty happy for the guy. He seems to be a relatable goofball, and I was really looking forward to seeing him in the MCU. I really enjoyed the first two Ant-Man films because I felt like they were a good palate cleanser, especially in between the big Marvel movies where like a lot of heavy stakes were taking place. The previous two films kind of were more on the lighthearted comedic side of the Marvel Universe, so when it came to seeing the trailer for this film, this one kind of looked like it was going to be taking the character a little more seriously, especially after the goofy disappointment that we had with Thor: Love and Thunder.
What's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
Between the trailers and how the movie starts off in the first 15 minutes, it definitely leads you to believe that it's going to be taking itself seriously, but shortly after that, it starts turning into a Disney Plus series.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
We are reintroduced to Ant-Man's daughter Cassie, who has now been recasted again. The actress actually was really good in the movie Freaky. I did not like this version of Cassie. I thought she was poorly written. And also, by the way, what is with all these teens in the Marvel movies and the MCU lately, all being magical geniuses? I'm pretty sure this just means she's going to be getting her own MCU show or going to be part of one. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure she has a bigger role in the comic books, but the way it was written here just was not executed very well and just seems like bad Disney Plus formula. And speaking of Disney Plus formula, as soon as we get into the quantum realm, the film becomes a not-so-funny version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and The Phantom Menace.
Now this is pod racing.
We are introduced to a group of rebel characters that we're supposed to care about and sympathize with, but to be honest,
Whatever. Who gives a shit?
oh yeah, and by the way, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas, and the Wasp are actually in this movie too. The casting in this movie is very bloated, and majority of the characters did not need to be in this film. Michelle Pfeiffer's character is reduced to bad dialogue that I would have heard in Jurassic World. All her character basically is saying is, hey, I got something to tell you. I have something really, really, really important to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you. And just like the movie Jurassic World, there were absolutely no threats, no consequences, no stakes. Between Paul Rudd's charm and Jonathan Majors' performance, those are the two that are really carrying this entire movie. There was a moment where I started to laugh when I shouldn't be laughing, where Cassie's doing a big announcement on a Jumbotron. That just made me feel like I was waiting in line for a ride. It just seems so out of place and so corny and so cheesy. Similar to Thor: Love and Thunder, we have a good villain, but we don't use them. We had a God Butcher who doesn't do much butchering. Here we have Kang the Conqueror, who doesn't do much conquering. And if he does it, it's all off screen. I definitely don't get the critic score or the audience score for Thor: Love and Thunder, and I definitely don't get the scores here for Ant-Man for both critics and audience. I didn't think the movie was bad, I just thought it was kind of bland. I wanted to give the film a C-, but since Jonathan Majors and Paul Rudd were both so good and carried the film, I'm going to give the film a C+. With the MCU's Phase 4 and all the Disney Plus shows that we've been seeing, I just have two questions. How is it that these superheroes have gone to different dimensions, different planets, different galaxies, different realms, whatever, but yet they managed to find places with breathable air? And my second question, since the debut of this character who's actually got a lot of charisma and actually pretty cool, where in the hell has Shang-Chi been this entire time? I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.